Today's that question. You've probably heard of these terms before: whole grain, high fiber, whole meal. And today we're looking at the reason why they are recommended for weight loss. Today we're looking at the reasons why they are recommended for weight loss. So what I have here, what I've sent to you. So the first one, it shows a plant, a grain plant. This is what we normally take to make our flours, our breads, our pastas, or whatever breads that is. So I'm taking you back to grade 11, back to life sciences, to look at the grain. So we're focusing in on the grain and why we call it a whole grain. So usually a whole grain, it means that it still maintains all the component of the flour. So whole grain it still contains the original three parts of the seed. So it has the bran, the germ, and the endosperm. So the bran is the outer layer, which is rich in fiber, vitamins, and antioxidants. And then you have the germ, which is the inner part, which contains healthy fats, vitamins, and minerals. And then you have the endosperm, which is the middle part, mostly is starch or carbohydrates for energy. So it gives you the sugar, that is. When a grain is refined, like white bread, white flour, white, okay, it means that the bran and the germ have been removed, leaving mostly the endosperm. So whole grain means that the complete grain is there, and then refined means that the grain, the bran and the germ have been removed. So you're just left with the endosperm, the inner part. So in a way, just to go into why we recommend more of the whole grain for weight loss. Do you know why, before I get into them? Was it confusing?
No, it's not confusing.
Okay.
Didn't lose me there. You said whole grain means it still has all these components here.
Yeah.
But it still has your bran, endosperm, and germ.
Yeah.
And I mean, you still need food that is high in fiber.
Yeah.
On your weight loss journey.
Yeah, true. Wait, I'm going to pause a bit. Yeah, I was asking, is it confusing the way I explained it? Like just the whole grain?
No, it's not confusing.
Okay.
I got it.
Okay, I kind of find it interesting.
I didn't like plant biology, but this is interesting to me because I didn't know. I always see it on your Kellogg's.
Yeah.
You always hear people saying the maize meal that we eat now is refined.
Yeah. So in a way, refined, that means that you just left with the inner part. So the reason why we recommend more of the whole meal to help with weight loss is that they help to keep you full for longer. That's the first part, because of the amount that you're getting, because you're not removing all those excess outer parts. They can help to keep you full for longer, and then they also help in controlling your blood sugar levels. This is because when you eat something that's whole grain, your body takes time to process that food. So in a way, imagine having to break down the outer parts, the middle part, to get to the inner part. So the inner part I mentioned, that's the one where it's mostly carbohydrates, which provides energy, so glucose or sugar, that is. So imagine having to break down everything to get to that inner part, but in your intestine or in your stomach. So it takes time to break down that food, so it stays in the stomach a bit longer, because your stomach still has to process everything, and that helps to keep you full, so you're not overly hungry 5 minutes later, 10 minutes later. So it takes time in the intestines. And then also with that means there's going to be a slow release of sugar. When there's a sugar spike, usually you get a crash, and then you start to crave more sweet things, and then makes you to overeat or to over snack. So it does help in that way. The next one is that it works hard. Your body also works, since your body also works harder to digest these things, you also take long to chew compared to refined products. You chew brown products way longer than you chew the refined or the white products. Eating slow is very important. It's not even that much of a difference, but it does help that when you're eating these foods that are high in fiber, you will chew a bit slower in comparison. So it helps you to eat slower as a result. So it just helps in a way, and that can help with weight loss in the long term. But overall consumption is still important at the end of the day. But then this is just to look at the microscopic part of it and some of the things that is why it's recommended. I hope that was an interesting thing. I like things like this,
was.
and I know that some people are just like, what? This is so boring, but I enjoy them. I'm weird like that.
No, this is interesting because I always see whole grain.